All right, it looks like we are live. So, welcome everyone to Proper Romance Shadow Mountain, wherever you guys are watching. We are so happy that you guys are all here. I am Ashley. I work for Shadow Mountain and I am in charge of their events. So, this virtual event is put on by me. And I'm here with Arlem and Joanna. Do you guys just want to introduce yourselves real quick and then we'll just get going?
Sure, I'll go first. I'm Joanna Barker. My newest book is A Heart Worth Stealing, way back there, if you can see it. And I'm super excited to be here and chat with Arlem. We're besties, so it's always fun. And we love Ashley.
I'm Arlem Hawks, and my most recent book is Along a Breton Shore. And I have done a couple with Shadow Mountain now. So excited to be here.
Perfect. Well, we're so glad that you guys are here. And for those of you guys who are joining us, we'll be just chatting for a little bit, and then we are going to be giving away a couple of books throughout the night. So we have Protecting Her Heart by Nancy Campbell Allen. I'm trying to get the glare away. There we go. So that one will be releasing in January, and then we have Naturally an ARC copy of Joanna's book, A Heart Worth Stealing, and then Along a Breton Shore by Arlem. I think I said that right. And if you guys are watching us a little bit later, you guys are still more than welcome to enter the giveaway. We'll be having it open for a week after the video ends. So it'll be a week from today, whatever that is. I think it's the 1st. I should have looked.
I don't know.
But a week from today.
Sounds good.
And so, yeah, you guys just feel free to enter and just interact and chat. We're happy you guys are all watching us. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do tonight, you guys, so I want you to describe each other's most recent books. So, Arlem, you're going to be describing Joanna's, and Joe, you're going to be describing Arlem's. Are you ready for this?
So ready.
Okay, tell us about the books.
Okay, I can go first.
Okay.
So, A Heart Worth Stealing is a Regency era mystery where they are trying to locate and figure out who stole Ginny's pocket watch. It's her father's watch, and this couple is like one of my favorites of Joanna's because they're just so fun. Like the girl is super spunky and the guy is like swoony and like kind of edgy a little bit. And I will say, like, the whole thing is super, super fun, like very unique, I feel like, for a Regency, especially for a proper romance. But that kiss scene,
Oh,
so good.
you maybe had a lot of fun with the kissing scene.
That's what we like to hear.
Okay, my turn. So Arlem's newest book is Along a Breton Shore, and I got to read this forever ago because I'm her beta reader, critique partner, and so I always get to read her books first, which is author perk. Anyways, so this book is France and the Revolutionary War. Revolutionary War. What do you call it? Revolutionary France? French Revolution. And it's about Armel, who angers the local, what would you call them? The French.
Clergyman, yeah.
She gets in trouble for angering a clergyman, and she's supposed to be executed by one of the soldiers, but he doesn't want to follow through, and he lets her go. And it starts off this whole chain reaction where they have to run away together and travel along a Breton shore to find their families. And it's so much fun because they're Grumpy Sunshine, and she's just the most like optimistic, sweet girl, and he's got this sad past and history that he's trying to get over, and they help each other through the hardest things, and it's just the sweetest story. I love it.
That's fantastic. It makes me just want to read them both again.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. So, okay, and then Arlem, quick question. It's not necessarily the second book, but it's like a continuation of Beyond the Lavender Fields, right?
Yes. So they can be read as standalones, and I made sure to write them so that regardless of which one you picked up first, you wouldn't be lost. But Beyond the Lavender Fields starts with Gilles Etienne, and then Along a Breton Shore is his brother Maxence, and they Along a Breton Shore takes place like a year and a half after the end of Beyond the Lavender Fields.
Okay, perfect. So you get to see a little bit of connection there. So perfect. Okay. So the first question for you guys is, so how did y'all become besties?
So did we meet in the first chapter contest, or was it okay?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we go to this conference called Storymakers, as you know, and we were newbie authors, and we submitted our first chapters to the first chapter contest that they have. And before you submit them, a lot of times you'll exchange with other authors to get notes and stuff, critiques. And so that's how we met. And we loved each other's writing. And then a couple months later, we formed a critique group with Heidi Kimball and Megan Walker too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually emailed Joanna when we were done exchanging, and I was like, if you ever need a critique partner, like let me know. And then I felt super awkward about it and like regretted doing it.
Oh no. It worked out.
Like no, but I was just like, she is such a great writer. She's not like I was just embarrassed. And
you're the cutest. When it turned out that her husband was from the town right next to the one I grew up from, and so like grew up in, and so like we knew a lot of the same places, and I don't know, it was super crazy fun coincidence. So
yeah, it's funny how that's always just a small world, and that's so cute that you guys became friends and like are still friends, and I just love it. So all right,
we love it.
I'm so glad. All right. Okay, so guys, get ready for the first giveaway. So this is for you guys. This question is for Along a Breton Shore. The question is, tell us your favorite historical fact in the comments. And then while they're doing that, and we'll see what they're saying, a question for you guys as authors is, what's your favorite historical discovery you've made while researching for a book?
Okay, this is one I share a lot, but just because it's my favorite and it makes me laugh every time I talk about it. I was researching duels for my book Secrets and Suitors, and I found the craziest stories of duels that actually took place. And one of them was two gentlemen dueled each other with billiard balls. They just threw balls at each other. I'm not entirely sure who wins in that. I don't know. And then there's another one, I think it was in France, where they were in hot air balloons dueling with pistols, which, yeah, like for real. They were in the newspaper. Anyways, people were just as crazy back then as we are now. So, maybe more so with the whole billiard ball thing.
That would hurt.
I don't know. I think I'd rather go with the guns instead of the
like, were they dueling to the death, or like?
I'm assuming it was just a satisfaction kind of thing. Maybe it was a funny thing. I don't know. They didn't go into detail. Now I wish they had.
It's fair.
Okay, I think my favorite historical discovery, I think most people know that I love the Royal Navy and love researching the Royal Navy. And one thing that I do when I am looking for names for my characters is I go back into my family history and research names through my family tree. And while I was researching, I found like 3 generations of Royal Navy ancestors. During one of them was during the Napoleonic Wars. And so I think that's been one of my favorite things, is like finding these personal ties to the stuff that I'm researching, to my books. Yeah, it's just super fun.
Didn't you have a family member that was like in a shipwreck too? What was that?
Yes. It was a little bit later than the period I write. It was Victorian era. But yeah, it was this huge shipwreck before they had lifeboats for everybody. And it was just off the coast of South Africa. And it was also one of the largest shark attacks recorded. So it's very likely that my ancestor, the one that didn't survive, was eaten by sharks.
not a good way to go.
No.
What if they dueled with sharks? That would be something.
Just combine those.
Oh, that's like mixing stories together.
Now we're talking.
Yes. Okay. So just a reminder for you guys in the comments, just make sure to tell us your favorite historical fact and you will be entered to win Along a Breton Shore, which we will announce in a week on the 1st. I checked. All right. A next question for you guys. This is a very loaded question and one of the worst questions you could ever get. What are your favorite books of all time?
Oh, of all time. Oh boy. Do you want to go first?
I'll go with kind of a cliche one, but I will explain it. Pride and Prejudice really is one of my favorite books of all time. And not just for the incredible love story. I love it for the cast of characters that is in it, the huge cast of characters. I love Mr. and Mrs. Bennet, and I love the Bingleys. And I feel like she did such an amazing job of bringing so many people into it and making them feel like real people. And it's something that I always aspire to in my work. I love having a huge cast of characters and characters that feel like they have lives beyond the pages of the book, and beyond their roles in the book, which is why I often like go off on side characters for later books. But yeah, that's just something that I aspire to, being as great at understanding people as she was, so that I can bring them to life on the page.
And you do it so well.
Thank you.
Can I be cliche too and say Harry Potter?
Yes.
I don't know. It was probably just the most formative part of my childhood, reading those books. And I don't know. And my boys are reading them now, and it's just making my heart so happy. And I think part of it's the thing that you were saying is like this cast of characters. Like, I love the main characters, but it's also all the side characters that everyone has grown to love. And I don't know. There's so many themes and beautiful parts of that story. I don't know. I'm going to be cliche and say Harry Potter.
Honestly,
it's the truth.
they're classics for a reason. So.
Yeah.
Except
look,
here's
there's my whole collection right there. Okay.
I love it. Well, here's something super embarrassing about me, as big of a reader as I am. I have never read Jane Austen's books.
That's okay. We still love you.
Well, thanks. Yeah, but I have read Harry Potter, so
okay.
At least I got one or two.
Close. So it's on my list. I just have never gotten around to it. Okay, time for another giveaway. We are going to be giving away a heart worth stealing. And since this is a proper romance, I want you guys to tell us, to enter to win this, what your favorite proper romance is. So you could, if you need a quick answer, there's one right here.
You just want here's a cheat sheet.
It works. So
I like it.
It is perfect. So, and then I know that Arlem, you have Georgiana's. I've actually never tried to pronounce it. It's Georgiana's Secret, right? Is your proper romance. And then
yes,
Joe, you have this one. And I don't think that you guys have any others, do you? Or am I just forgetting some?
That's
well,
it. So
Beyond the Lavender Fields and Along a Breton Shore are officially historical fiction.
Yes, but you do get a cute little romance in there. So
lots of romance still.
I walk the line between proper romance and historical fiction.
You know, in the wise words of a celebrity figure, you just get the best of both worlds.
Did I listen to that song on repeat?
Maybe.
It's perfect. So, that's that. I've read almost all the proper romances and lots of them, but there's still a few that I'm working my way through. All right, let's see. Here is a fun one for you guys. How do you keep each other sane?
There's a lot of texting. There's a lot of, this sounds weird. This sounds bad. There's a lot of venting. It's not in a bad way usually. It's a get it off our chest it's hard to be an author. It really is. It's hard to get bad reviews and to have different obstacles that pop up in our paths. And we have all, and the author life is a very unique career. There's so many different things about it that other people just don't understand unless you've been through it. I mean, I'm sure that's true of a lot of people. I shouldn't say it's unique to the author life, but it's so nice to have people that have been through the same thing that I have, and be able to talk to each other and talk each other through and off cliffs. And I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, along with that, we're in our critique group, we're all moms who have fairly young children, which also makes it hard to write. I mean, being a mom takes a lot of emotional and mental
Energy.
power, and then you don't have a lot of that left over, which you need a lot of that in order to write. And so I think it's nice, like, we can share both our regular lives and our writing lives. And just along with the venting, like, I feel like Joanna and the other two in our critique group are some of the biggest cheerleaders that I have. And I know that I can go to them for a pick me up, for a you can do this, like, keep going, you've got this, like, let me help you if we need to brainstorm or whatever. I know they've got my back. And so that's always a comfort, since writing can be a very lonely career. So it's great to have them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so great. And I mean, friends make all the difference in the world, even if wherever you're at. So that's fantastic. Let's see if I have any other questions. I just saw it. Oh, there it is. Okay, where do you get inspiration? And then we'll hold one more giveaway, and then we'll be done for the night.
Where do we get inspiration? It's always a tricky question because I feel like I have the same answers every time. I want to be original in case people are listening to me over and over again. Probably not. A lot from research. I think Arlem would probably say the same things. Not so much at the beginning, but I've learned to enjoy research more. The more books I've written, because I realize what a valuable resource researching is for story ideas. Like, my last 2 or 3 books have both been based off of a small nugget that I found randomly looking for some other stories. And then I thought, what if, because of that small thing. So if you ever need a story idea, just go down the rabbit hole with some random thing, and I'm sure you'll find something. But then also just, like, for example, like character names. I think Arlem feels the same. We always are collecting names. I think each writer kind of has their own, like, little collection, and we don't want to share with anybody.
Yes. We're protective of those.
We're protective of our name collections. But I like to, like, when I'm watching like a movie and then the credits start rolling, I'm like, I get my phone out and I'm like, oh, I like that name and I like that name, and I collect them. It's just all over the place. There's little things that it's always sparking an idea.
Yeah, for sure. I do a lot of that with research. Like, Along a Breton Shore started with, there's an opening scene where she's scrubbing the floor after the constitutional clergyman to, like, tick him off. Like, she's scrubbing his filth off of the church. And that was something that real Breton women did. And when I was researching for Beyond the Lavender Fields, I found this little anecdote and I was like, oh my gosh, that would be like the funniest thing for the start of another book. And so that became Along a Breton Shore. But another thing that I like to do is when I'm watching a movie or reading a book, and I find a situation that is interesting, sometimes I'll go, but what if they made the other decision? Or, like, what if this happened instead? And you can take one scene or, like, one moment, and even though it's, like, similar to this book or this movie, you can create an entirely new story off of just that one nugget of something being tweaked, something going a different direction, and you wouldn't even know that it was found in a different book or movie.
It's all about those what if questions.
Yes.
Like, I can't tell how many times a day I think, what if? And I mean, they don't all turn into stories, obviously, but
You know, authors would be great conspiracy theorists.
oh my gosh, yeah.
We are.
I love it. Okay. So for the last giveaway, we have caption Protecting Her Heart. Be helpful if I knew the title. And it's matching all of our green. If you can see it, we definitely planned this.
Definitely planned it.
So the last question is what is your guys' like favorite setting? So if you just want to tell us like your favorite country that stories take place in, or city. Like, so my personal favorite is recently I've been on a Scotland kick.
Oh yeah.
And so like Scotland, it's where it's at. So let's just hear what your guys' are as authors, and then we'll get some in the comments, and then we'll just be done for the night.
Oh, our favorite setting?
Whether it be reading or writing, like take your pick.
Well, right now I just finished a book set in London and I didn't enjoy it. I don't write. That sounded wrong. I enjoyed writing the story, but writing in London in the Regency is really hard, and I should have picked a different location. So I'm going to say London, or Regency, England, anywhere but London.
I know, the countryside for sure.
Yes.
I'm more of a fan of the countryside.
The story's still good, I promise.
I know, I get to dive into it. So I felt that.
That's why we have people who read it. So, and friendship right there. Yeah. So,
mine. Oof, that's a tough one. I like really any book that brings the setting to life so that it feels like I'm there, and it doesn't. To me, doesn't really matter where it is. Mm-hmm. If the setting is like vibrant and almost another character in the book, that's what I like.
Totally.
So it doesn't exactly answer your question, but
please, breaking all the rules.
You know me.
No, what I've heard about you is you're the only one that ever turns in your manuscripts on time. So, yes.
Well done. Well done.
Sometimes.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, depends on the book and what's going on in my life at that moment. But
that is very fair. Well, you guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We're so glad that we had all of you here, and I'm so glad that I got to talk to you guys tonight. It's been so fun. So, anyways, you guys can enter the giveaway for another week. It is the first when it will close. So thank you seriously for everyone for joining us.
Yay. Bye.
Thanks,
thank you.